Anything less than 8 is too heavy. You're not building muscles. You become a power lifter and you hurt your joints and stuff. And anything more than 12 is too light. So in order for you to activate the muscles, I'll keep it between 8 to 12 on your upper body and 15 plus on your lower body. So I don't really like too much aerobic. I use aerobic actually to gain weight in the off season. I use aerobic more, in the off season than I use it, for pre-contest. Because a lot of skinny people, they come to me. Like for me, an example, I think I was like 50 kilo when I started, and everybody's like, you're gonna be in the magazine? Yeah, okay, good luck. You already know. This is every day. Whatever you put on your mouth is gonna show on the stage. Well, first of all, I am married to a medical director. My wife, she's the head of one of the largest hospitals in New York. And I always consult with her. I always read. I always up to date. I'm always there. I learn stuff. So it's not, like I said, it doesn't come overnight. The stuff I have is not just, like, you can't just bring stuff out of your mind, The main thing you as a doctor, that it's not about, quantity, it's about quality. What I mean by that, most of the young generation, they get an idea that as soon as you get into the gym, I'm just gonna have to start enhance myself and take that drug. It's wrong. It's wrong. Well, for an example, Kai Green, he turned professional bodybuilder without using anything. And he didn't do anything, and he turned professional bodybuilder. And everybody's like, wow, how did he gain, 30 kilos in a couple of years? Because he never did anything before. And then when he needed it, he started using a little stuff. So, the most important thing is, your question to me is where I get my knowledge. Of course I gotta read books, and of course I gotta consult with all my friends. There are so many doctors, so many things. Because the main thing, and this is what I always, health before anything. Because it doesn't matter. The first thing we started working, me and Kai said, if you become Mr. Olympia, and then you're on dialysis, it's not gonna do you any good. Because absolutely not, I don't want that. And that's how I like to work with the people, that they put health before bodybuilding. And unfortunately, all the young generation, they don't care. They just go and use everything, and it's wrong. You need to stop. You need to be smart. You need to ask. If you don't know, you need to ask the people around you, like yourself, doctor. You know some stuff that it's good, and you know some stuff is bad. So we need to be ambassador to show the people that it's not. Bodybuilding is not just about taking drugs. It's about working hard, sleeping. Like I said, it's suffering. When your friends are partying, you're actually taking your protein, you're counting your amino acids and your carbs. That's why we make, successful people. Not because, you just want to go party and do stuff.
I hope somebody asks me how I can remember people.
You're very smart.
And then... Starałem się muszę to też przetłumaczyć
Okay, well, to me, it doesn't matter what you're training for, physique, bikini, whatever. When you're in the gym, you gotta give it 100%. The only difference is, like a couple of people actually, I was at the show, an IFBB show, and I was helping Mark Anthony. You guys know he's Mr. Olympia in physique. I was helping him to do a show in Pittsburgh just like a month ago. And everybody's like, oh my God, why Mark is winning? The other guy is bigger and stuff. And Mr. Mannion told him, the head of the whole organization, he said, that's why we have physique. If you want to be big, we have a different thing called bodybuilding. You can do that. So if we're talking about ripped, yes, fine, you gotta be ripped, you gotta be in shape. Because what I like about my guys, they get in real good shape, so when they stand on the stage, they don't have to push or nothing, they have nice look in line, beautiful, but not necessarily big. So there's no reason for you to use tons of stuff, to become, a physique champion. You gotta take it easy. And when you talk about insulin stuff, absolutely not. I don't like insulin, not even on bodybuilders, so why would you use it for physique? I think that's the question, right?
Do you think for the losing weight, the weight should be more?
Like I said, there is no high rep stuff.
In the training.
Just train as hard as bodybuilder. There's no difference. You know, like I said.
5-6 times to 10 reps only.
I like, for your upper body, you should always do between 8 to 12. This is almost even the Berkeley research show that 8 to 12, you can really fire up your muscles perfectly. Anything less than 8 is too heavy. You're not building muscles, you become a power lifter and you hurt your joints and stuff. And anything more than 12 is too light. So in order for you to activate the muscles, I'll keep it between 8 to 12 on your upper body and 15 plus on your lower body.
And how many times a week you think it's okay to make aerobics? Every day or only?
You know what? This is the difference between other people. A lot of people, they do aerobic to lose weight. I don't do aerobic to lose weight. If anybody works with me, they know the most I ever let anybody do aerobic is maybe 40 minutes. This is if they're out of shape. You remember, right? Well, we did 25 minutes and you get in an amazing shape, right?
Maximum 30.
Yeah, so I don't really like too much aerobic. I use aerobic actually to gain weight in the off season. I use aerobic more, in the off season than I use it, for pre-contest. Because pre-contest, you're unlimited calorie, you gotta be careful. If you do too much cardio, you lose your fullness, you lose your upper. So I don't really like that. I like you to, like I always say, if you wanna call yourself a bodybuilder or physique or whatever, and you walk around in the off season and you can't see your abs, don't call yourself a bodybuilder, don't call yourself a physique, because you're not. Because you only worry about how much pizza you're gonna eat and cake and ice cream. This is not what champions do, you know what I mean? So if you're in shape all year round, it will be like a piece of cake getting ready for a show. And if you want to be champion, you have to be different than the rest. That's why I said, anybody can go eat whatever they want, but that's why they're not sitting here. That's why they're not on the stage with us. That's why they make fun of us, when they see somebody who's a champion. They say, this guy is this and this, because they're jealous and they're envying us, because not everybody can be like us. It takes a lot of dedication. This is the hardest sport. I don't care what anybody does. I think bodybuilding and physique or whatever, this is the hardest sport. Because this is, it's every day. It's not like, golfing or boxing, you get ready for 4 or 5 weeks and you're ready. No, this is every day. Whatever you put in your mouth is going to show on the stage.
To actually gain mass, what do you mean by that?
Because a lot of, and this is very weird. Like I said, I'm different than any, coach out there. That's why I think, maybe that's why I'm successful, because I'm crazy. But I really think, a lot of skinny people, they come to me. Like for me, an example, I think I was like 50 kilo when I started, and everybody's like, you're gonna be in the magazine? Yeah, okay, good luck. You know what? I prove everybody wrong. Because it's all, like I said, bodybuilding is about common sense, okay? Why people, when they're trying to gain weight and they take GH, insulin, but then what they do, they add T3, right? Why they add T3? Because they want their metabolism to be faster, so that food can be absorbed and they don't turn fat. That's why I was thinking about it. I said, we can do it naturally. There's a lot of people, you probably hear it so many times, skinny guys, they say, man, I eat everything, I eat pizza, I eat this, I can't gain weight, because their body's not absorbing it. Cardio, what it does, when you do, I'm not telling you to go and do an hour cardio, but if you do, 20, 25 minutes cardio a day, what's going to happen, first, it's going to make you hungrier. Second, when you eat the food and you already did the cardio, it's going to help you absorb the nutrient better, just like that T3 did. You see what I'm saying? So when you do cardio in the off season, it's actually to help you gain weight while you stay in shape. It'll allow you to eat more food. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, increase your appetite, and at the same time, keep your fat percentage low. So this is the best, and I don't know why people avoid it. And when you do this, now when you get ready for a show, you can ask any of the guys that I work with, maybe 2 weeks out, they're not doing any cardio anymore, because I want to try to preserve their muscle, because So that's why Kali was very, very important in the housing. Okay?
Ms. Katza, I think I'll translate and we go with the question here and then we move to live.